Travis Wayne Goodsell. I just got back from my weekly shopping, and normally on this day, which is the last day that I would be out shopping for the month, I would normally be getting a stamp, as I have to turn in some government papers once a month, usually. But last month, at the end of the month, I bought a book of stamps because of that Amazon attack as ordered by the church. If you've been following along on that one. Last month, when I bought the book of stamps, Jessica was there at the behind the counter and asked me if I was going to get a single stamp, and I said a book of stamps. Is it 10 or 20? 20. And so yeah, she knows me, I know her, and I've heard her talk about having kids. I haven't heard about a husband in the picture. I've been here for 6 years, so she knows me these past 6 years. She knows that I got married and got divorced. And we did have a conversation after Thanksgiving, I think, or right before Thanksgiving last year, where she had her hair down. She has extremely long hair. It is awesome. It goes all the way down to her butt. Awesome. She's only a little girl, though. Little as in short. And she's a blonde, so she's not a little redheaded girl, if you've been following along with that. But today, I finally saw her again. Hadn't seen her all month. She knows that I come in every Tuesday, but I didn't see her all month. And then today, there she was. But I didn't need to buy a stamp because I bought the book last time. But as I walked by to get milk and orange juice, she waved, and I likewise waved. I'm not that shy. After 2 marriages, I'm coming out of my shyness shell. But I can never get the courage up to pursue anything further. I'm poor, and it kind of hurt one time where she used to ask if I was getting a bus pass or tokens, whatever they're called, and I said, no, I don't do that anymore. And she immediately asked, oh, you got a car? She like lit up. And that sort of dropped my countenance as I was catching on to the clues. As an old man, we pick up a few things about how women think. Just a few. And so yeah, kind of discouraging, but so position that I'm in currently as the Church of Jesus Christ of Latter-day Saints that I was born and raised into and devoted my life to and pursued finding out how Joseph Smith rendered his translations and found out as I became the decipherer of Paleo-Hebrew and the decipherer of Egyptian which career fields are a red flag for women to stay away from me. I guess. The woman formerly called my first ex said as she was leaving with our kids and my property and my research, "My kids will not learn Hebrew," and away she went. And so, isn't it great to be born and raised Mormon and to experience the happiness and joy that comes from obedience in the Mormon Church? Oh, the consequences when you do what is right. And so, yeah, that keeps me in a shell of shyness, as I would love to be able to get to know women. At Rick's, that's what I focused on. I majored on getting to know women, just spending time all day. And but those days are gone. Those days are gone all by myself. And so, yeah, when she waved today, I was a little slow because I was thinking about how excited I was to be able to see her again, not realizing that she may have purposely been there so that I could see her again. It took a little while before that caught on. But, you know, what is a guy to do? Because I don't do texting. I did Facebook, tried that, and it was fine. Got to communicate with some awesome people around the world. I miss Anya. Yes, she was Russian. But that was in 2014, before Crimea. And then when Crimea hit, she was gone. She didn't want to communicate with Americans anymore, as she needed to show Putin that she's loyal to Russia, as I later put two and two together. But yeah, it hurts when people don't want to be your friend anymore. But I can't do the online dating. Nobody wants me anyway. I mean, how are you supposed to select? You know, I was denied a family. Had 3 kids, but was only able to raise them for a little bit of time while their mother was out prostituting herself, and then she took them away from me at a very young age. And so, yeah, the country song, she's 4 and he's 2, that's difficult to listen to. Melissa's birthday is tomorrow, by the way, and she's out of my life. And so, having been through both the younger singles ward and the older singles ward here in Utah way back in the day, I learned that I was not welcome in either. And it's just the consequences of the brainwashing beliefs that the church puts on Mormons. I was literally told in the younger singles ward, as I was newly divorced, that I should stick with my own kind. And at that age, there are not many my kind. you gotta wait a few more years before other Mormons join the divorce club, such as those women who told me to stick with my own kind. As they would themselves be humbled as they end up getting divorced. And I'm sure they completely forgot that they told me to stick with my own kind, as they're more concerned about how they're going to get with someone else again. And then you hear about Marie Osmond, who gets tossed around with 8 different guys. Well, not different. She's gone back to several exes. I think her latest one now was the first guy, something like that. To be rich and be able to just pick and choose whoever you want to be with. But, yeah, what do you do? Now we have coronavirus, and so it's safest to stay away from people so that people remain lonelier. And I'm not in a living situation that allows for group activities with those of my own kind. It's when I did get married to the woman formerly called my second ex, as a Mormon, born and raised, you get into thinking that it was God who put you two together. But that leads to believing in soulmates, which is complete wrong for Mormonism, because you marry your high school sweetheart, per se, or hypothetically. You have kids with her, and then she tells you she never loved you and leaves you and takes all the kids away. Or you meet somebody at Rick's, you thought it was meant to be, you have a few kids with her, then she takes the kids away, says she never loved you, says that she doesn't want her kids learning Hebrew. You then quickly realize, oh yeah, soulmate is completely false doctrine. or you dig deeper into non-reality, fantasy land, saying, oh, she was not really the one. The real soulmate is out there somewhere. Somewhere out there, beneath the pale light. If you have incorrect beliefs, you end up not only destroying your life, but you end up hurting other people's lives. As it doesn't just do with love, but as I've told you, my neighbor, who I will not be providing digital version of conference for him this year, as the church no longer will provide him DVDs. They don't make them anymore. And so, yeah, Russ will only be able to watch it one time when it shows on TV, and that's it. For the rest of his life, he will not be able to watch that session of conference, and likewise into the future. All because he used his religion to hate, to attack me with hate. All because I was kicked out of the church by our bishop. It wasn't my fault. I didn't leave the church. I was told to stick with my own kind. You will not publish Hebrew and belong in this church. Basically what the bishop meant. As he didn't say what a woman formerly called my first ex said directly. But he told me that I needed to stop posting about my ancient languages in Egyptian and Paleo-Hebrew. Why do I bother coming to church? I'm making the leaders of the church look bad, he said. Wow. Is it me that's making them look bad, or is it them who are making themselves look bad? But why use religion to hate? And so, I then decided, okay, I need to learn church history. I need to figure out what's going on here. And, now ex-Mormons don't like me either. Because I found out the truth. And yes, the church is evil since Brigham Young. And that's why ex-Mormons don't like me. Because I still get comments of ex-Mormons who say, and Joseph Smith too, he's evil too, he's the bad guy too. No. I did the research. He's actually an American hero. But Brigham Young made sure that nobody would know it. But thank goodness for our modern technology, where we're able to piece together all the various information and figure out what was really going on. As Heber C. Kimball himself, in his Wikipedia page under Masonry, he outright said, I was approved in Canandaigua Lodge to become a Royal Arc Mason, but the records are all destroyed because it was burned down in the anti-Mason movement. Oops! Nope, they weren't. And guess who was the Master Mason whom Heber said approved him for a 4-level increase? Skipping those other 3 or other 4 or whatever. 3, so 4, 5, 6, skipping 3 levels to get to the 7th level in the York Rites. Joseph Smith Sr. The church is silent on that. They will not talk about it. They will not even put it in Wikipedia for us to know about. You have to go to another source that preserved the records, recovered all the records, and then lists all those who were identified on the records. Guess who appears in Canandaigua, New York, at the time that Heber said he was there, getting permission and approval? Can somebody say liar? Can I get a liar? Liar! I'm a witch, not your wife. I'm not sure. Or I'm not a witch, I'm your wife, and after what you just said, I'm not sure I want to be that anymore. To believe. And as everyone knows, it means to bluff. So he was probably involved in a poker game. You guys should know that one. I shouldn't have to tell you that it was Princess Bride. So, the lonely struggle life of a outcasted Mormon, unloved, unwanted, and with the little blonde girl at the store, I could just be imagining things. I could be imposing my will upon how she treats me. It just could have happened to have been that she was there, didn't know and didn't care, and then saw me and had to be nice because she works there. And I'm just imagining things. But, such is the lonely life. And there are women who are well aware of guys like me that we impose certain characteristics and beliefs and desires upon the women we hope reciprocate, so that they learn to stay far away from us and not acknowledge us, because if they were to smile or say hi, that we would think that they love us. And then we have to stalk them, and we have to let them know that we love them, and send them all sorts of letters that we're so poor that we have to cut out magazine letters and put them on a... And then the woman freaks out, thinking that we're going to kill them. And so they get restraining orders. And yeah, life of a lonely man.